Today on Dad Fixes, we're going to do changing the wheel on your car. Quick disclaimer first. Okay, so this is if you've got a puncture, you're out in the middle of nowhere, you've got no phone signal, breakdown company's going to take hours to get to you, 6 hours maybe. I've had to wait before now. A lot of people say if I get a puncture I'm just going to ring the breakdown company. Do you really want to sit there for 6 hours waiting for the breakdown company for something that you can do yourself in 10 minutes? Dead simple, every motorist should be able to change a wheel. So, I've got assembled here some of the kit I would normally use if I was working on a car. Axle stand and a trolley jack. Of course, you don't carry all those around in the back of your car normally, so I'm going to use the stuff that either comes with the car or that I carry in the car so that I can do this out the roadside. Okay, so first thing is somebody will have ragged your wheels on with an air gun and you won't be able to get them off with the standard wheel brace, the wheel nuts. Also, a lot of the wheel braces actually sit at an angle, so you've got no leverage and they tend to slip off and you'll knacker your wheel nuts. So what I would suggest is that you get yourself a socket of the correct size and a long bar. This is an old torque wrench that's knackered. You can't adjust the torque anymore because the spring's gone. But you can get an extendable bar from Halfords. You can press this down nice and short to go in the boot of the car, and you can telescope it out to make it longer to get some leverage, because otherwise you're going to really struggle to get the wheel nuts off. Got the vehicle jack. It will tell you in your handbook where that's stowed. And then I think we're ready to go. First thing you need to do is look in your vehicle handbook and locate where the jacking point is on the car. On this car it is just up there. It's a sort of reinforced piece on the car. Every car is different. Look in your handbook, it'll tell you where it is. If you jack it up in the wrong place you can bend the floor pan and you don't want to be doing that. Next, locate where your spare wheel is. On mine it's tucked underneath there, gathering all the crap off the road. And you release it by screwing that nut just there. Every vehicle is different, so again check in your handbook and check where it is. Having released the spare wheel, I always put that underneath the car. The jacks that the vehicles come with are notoriously unsteady, and I have had cars fall off them before, so stick the wheel underneath the car, clear the jacking point, so that if it does come off it's going to land on there, and don't stick your head or anything else underneath the car whilst it's jacked up. I would definitely recommend checking all this in daylight before you need to use it. Make sure your spare wheel comes off, because particularly the underslung ones, they do tend to seize in place, and make sure you know how to get it off, because on a dark and stormy night when it's pissing with rain you don't want to be scrabbling around under the car trying to work out how to do it in the dark. So check it all in the daylight, make sure you know where everything is that you're going to need and where it needs to go, so where the jacking points are, how to get the spare wheel off and where it is. Okay, before we jack the car up we need to loosen the wheel nuts. So I've got the handbrake on, and the vehicle in gear so that it's not going to roll away. Ideally you want a level surface to do this on. If you can, chop the wheels with a bit of wood or brick or something of that sort. Okay, crack the wheel nuts. Once they're a little bit loose, then we can jack the car up. So get the vehicle jack in position. Use our varying quality with different cars. They all look in different ways, so again, familiarise yourself with yours. Make sure you know how to use it. As you can see, they are not terribly good. I don't use one when I'm doing other work on the car. That locates just there, like so. Okay, up goes the car. This is one of the better vehicle jacks, to be honest. It's a lot worse than this. Okay. Right. So now we can take off the wheel nuts and the wheel. Attach them somewhere safe so they don't roll off down the road, because that's annoying, especially in the dark. I've already taken the wheel trims off of this. You missed that bit. Most cars these days don't have wheel trims. It's an old car. It's got alloy wheels now. If it has got wheel trims, then you might just need a flat blade screwdriver or something like that to leave it off. Or they might just pull off. Or these stiff. I'm going to put a bit of grease on these. Or put them back on again. There we go. And what we then do is swap the wheel that we're taking off with the wheel that we're putting on. So we've always got a wheel underneath the car. Always try and be safe. Think about what could happen and how you're going to mitigate that. I'm actually putting the same wheel back on because it's a better tyre. This is just for demonstration, so same wheel back on. Now you may find that the car needs jacking up a little bit further to get the new wheel on, because of course you had a flat tyre, so it doesn't line up anymore. So I'm just going to wind him up a little bit further. This is actually just because the suspension has dropped after taking that wheel off. And wind him up to the required position. There we go. Now this type of wheel is a bit of a pain in the neck because it hasn't got studs sticking through from the hub. It's got wheel nuts like that. So you need to get your holes lined up really roughly lined up before you put the wheel on, like so. And what I usually do is rest my knees up against it, get the first one in. Still not quite high enough, you can see it sticking out at the bottom. You want the wheel to be able to turn freely. There we go. Because if you put it on it not straight, it will come off. Then you do opposites, okay? Don't work round, because then you can get the wheel on skew width and it will come off. So you do opposites. Finger tight. And before we lower the car back down, we're going to get these a wee bit tighter, just to be certain that the wheel isn't going to move as we lower it down. Going opposites again. And we're not doing it really tight, we're just going around gradually tightening in sequence so that the wheel sits nice and flat on the hub. That's one started. Getting a little bit tighter each time, like that. So now that the wheel is secure, I've taken the spare out from underneath. I'm going to drop the car back down. Keep your hands out of the way. Lower it back down. Okay. and then we go around and do the final tightening. These should be torqued up to a specific torque. On steel wheels that's about 85-90 Newton meters, and you should use a torque wrench. You're not going to have one of those in the back of the car. So all we're going to do is, again, just go around in turn, tightening until they're decently tight. Doing opposites again. And there we go, that's your wheel on. At the side of the road I won't bother putting the hood cap back on, save that for later. But just bosh that into place. Really, really important, check your wheel nuts again for tightness after about 50 miles, because they will bed in and you'll find that you can tighten them up a little bit further. If you don't, your wheel can fall off. Don't ask me how I know. That's it, less than the time it takes to smoke a cigar. Saved yourself hours sitting at the side of the road waiting for AA or RAC or whoever's finally going to come out to you when they feel that they want to. Always think though, safety, safety, safety. Car falls on you, it's going to hurt, and it's going to be pretty inconvenient even if it doesn't land on top of you, it's going to be on the ground. So wheel underneath, chocked, firm surface. I carry a block of wood to put under the dash, just under the jack, if I'm on a soft surface, so you just want a block of wood for that. Just something, just an old piece of floorboard, nice and thick, and I can jack up on that just to support it. There you go, thanks for watching.